When it comes to the visualization, in order to really understand this, we want to understand how we actually manifest money and how our mind works and how we co-create with the quantum. When we talk about money and what we earn in a month, the money that we are earning every single month is what is normal for us. What is our autopilot program right now? If you think of like yourself as a laptop or computer and think of them as being coded, different codes for different things, for color, for volume, for processing, for memory, all of that, and they operate according to the code. You also have a code when it comes to money, and that code dictates how you operate when it comes to money, how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you attract. And that code is actually what is we are attracting every single month, what you see in your bank account every single month. Now, based on your code, you can also understand what amount of money is normal for you. So what amount of money that is going to come. Maybe you have a job, or maybe you earn a certain amount of money in your business, and you know that you like that's normal. That's not a crazy idea. That's not you expect it. That's normal for you. That's normalized. That's given, right? And if I say to you, let's 10x that amount, and all of a sudden now you start to wonder how I'm going to do this, and you're thinking and you're trying to visualize and all of that. But that 10x of that amount is not normal for you. It's not something that you're expecting right now. You, based on your energetic code, what you're coded is the amount of money that is normal for you, that you're just going to expect. That's your normalized state. That's your dominant state. And anything less than, you cannot really expect. You're like, no, I know it always happens. And anything more, you're wondering, like, how is it going to happen? That place where you're expecting is your normal state, where you have fused with, where your energetic code is right now. And when we understand how your energetic code was created and how it actually plays up, that's when we can plug in this visualization method to really explode your income. When we think about the energetic code, the environment that you're in, the way you have grown up, that amount of money was normal. Or maybe as you have grown and as you have evolved, you have come across or you have grown, and now the amount of money that you're earning is normal. But what I'm trying to say is that the reason that money feels normal for you right now, that doesn't feel too big or too small, and it's given, it's going to happen, is because your surroundings have had an influence in how you see money, and that you have taken on that consciousness. Let's say if you start hanging around millionaires or billionaires, then what is normal for you is going to change, because now every other person, is earning so much more than what is normal for you. So what will start to happen is you'll start to pick up on that, and you'll start to see that this is the new normal. I love what Denzel Washington said once. He said in his speech that if you hang around the barber shop long enough, you're going to have a haircut. If everybody's having haircut, all of a sudden having haircut is a normal thing. It's not crazy. So you're going to normalize it. This is the example Napoleon Hill gives in Think and Grow Rich. He says that when it comes to people committing crimes or doing wrong things, right? In the beginning, nobody likes the idea deep down, doesn't feel comfortable. But as they stay around people who are committing crimes, who are doing the bad things, it becomes normal, because all these things are a part of the environment. What we do is, based on how the money was when we were growing up, how the money has been, we create our normal. And that normal dictates what amount of money is normal for us. For someone who is making 8 figures, $1 million could be really small. And if they just do $1 million in 1 year, they'll be very sad. For someone who's doing 1 billion, if they're doing 100 million, that's very sad. It's just about changing your energetic code and what is normal for you right now. And when we plug in this visualization system, the beauty of this system is that you don't even need to meditate for a long time. Or if you're someone who's like, I cannot really focus in my meditations, I get very overstimulated, you can still use it. It still is really powerful. And if you're somebody who's like, you know what, I cannot visualize, I cannot see those pictures, even then, this can apply to you. Let's dive in. What we do is we ask ourselves, first of all, what is the amount of money we want to manifest? Because you want to be super clear on the number. Our mind needs to know what is the number. Let's say you're saying, I want to receive my annual income in a month, so I'm going to 12x my current income, and you pick that number, you take a goal card, you write on the goal card, I'm so happy and grateful now, in present tense, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have manifested X amount, whatever amount it is, in exchange for what are you willing to do in exchange? What kind of business you have, or what are you doing? If you're not sure what you want to do, you can write in exchange for living my purpose. But if you know what you want to do in exchange for that, I would recommend doing that. And if you're thinking, oh, but what I'm doing in exchange, I don't see it's gonna happen that I can attract that money in exchange for this thing. Only it's not happening because of your energetic code. Vehicle doesn't matter. A lot of times people go from their permanent jobs to starting a business, and they earn the exact amount of money they earn in their permanent job in their business. Why? Because it doesn't matter, what vehicle there is, you will always attract based on your energetic code. And if you manifest more than your energetic code, you will manifest an expense. Money will leave, or something will happen, or a car breakdown. So you cannot hold more than that. It's more than your capacity. And we're using this method to increase your capacity. Once you have done your goal card, that's the first step. You keep it with you at all times. You cannot go anywhere without your goal card. The second thing that you really want to do is you want to start asking yourself, and now this is the point where you start normalizing the new money. The only reason you haven't manifested in money is because it seems big. It seems like, oh, I'm gonna do it. You start to get in your head, it's not what you're expecting. What we're doing is we are making it normal. We are making it look small. We are making it look like from a vision into being. I see it. I know it's not big anymore. It's who I am. That kind of frequency, right? What you start to do is you start to ask yourself, how would my life look like when I have that money? And having a very clear and honest conversation. What it means is you say to yourself, what kind of house would I live in? Maybe you might live in the same house, but you just get the extensions done, or you get the work done, or you might start buying investment properties, or maybe you change your car, or maybe you start going on holidays more, or maybe you help somebody, you help your children, or you help your friends or family. So sit down with yourself and be very detailed and specific at the same time. So when I say detailed, I mean like you exactly know what you're going to do with that money. How would you spend that money every month? How much, if you're somebody who loves saving, how much would you save? If you love investing, how much would you invest? How much would you spend? How much would you receive? The amount of money you want to receive. You start to sit down with yourself and have a very honest conversation, and very detailed, and still being very precise and specific, that I know exactly where I'm going to spend it. And you start to do that in your mind. So you're like, okay, I'm going to have, let's take an example of 50,000. I'm going to have 50,000 months. I'm going to spend 5,000 on my day-to-day expenses, like eating out, or just day-to-day petrol and all of that. I'm spending this much on for the grocery. I'm going to give this much this. I'm going to give this much donation. I'm going to maybe save this much to buy another house, or I'm going to use this much for the car, or I'm going to start going on holiday more. You build a very clear picture of the life that you will have with that amount of money, and how exactly you'll be living, where you'll be spending, where you'll be going, what you'll be doing, being so clear. Now, the reason you're doing it is because you're normalizing that thing for your mind. Because just saying 50,000 month doesn't mean anything. You can say 100,000, you can say 5 million month. What does it actually mean? How does it change your life? What does it mean to be living like that? And you start to really go in the nitty-gritty details and really start to normalize that, and you build a clear picture. For instance, if you see that you're going to change the car and you will have another car, then you're very clear what color car, what is the model, and all of that. And when you are clear with the picture, and I would really recommend writing it out so you exactly know what it is, then you what you do is you keep on taking bites of that vision and visualize them. And you don't even have to sit on the meditation mat. You can literally start to dream with the open eyes. Let's say a very small example. When I was doing this work for the first time, I said to myself, I'm going to wear different coats. right? I would love to wear those furry, very posh, very cool coats with a fur scarf on around my neck, and I couldn't find them. I looked in so many brands. I went to Harrods. I went to so many places. I couldn't find those coats in London, and I kept like searching and searching. But I was very clear that I would wear those coats. When I found them, because you are meant to find them, any idea that is held in the mind, you manifest. When I found them, I immediately bought them. Now it could be that right now you cannot afford to pay for those kind of things because you haven't got the money. Can you start to like get something that is closer to that? Or let's say if you say I'm going to dress differently, can you start taking action in alignment? Like when I decided with that level of money how I'm going to dress, I fell in love with the idea of wearing silk dresses or plain beautiful colors with some accessories or on things on them, and I design all of that in my own mind, right? So every single detail, even the accessories, what would I put, how would where would the diamonds go, where would the things go? And then I couldn't find those dresses because they were all I created in the mind. But when I held the picture in my mind, we went on a holiday, and I found those things. I found somebody who could stitch them for me. I found the clothes. I found all the things, right? This is the power of attraction. But the key is that first you become very clear on that picture, and then you start to emotionalize it, and then you start to take the chunks. And let's say you're driving and you say, I'm going to create a scenario that I'm driving in that car, and you really start to feel it. But the question could be, I don't know how that car drives, right? Go and test drive that car so you know exactly how it drives, what sound it makes, what is the steering wheel, what are the front parts, how is the windscreen like, all of those things, what are the seats like, what are the colors. The more you get closer to that picture, the more your mind can comprehend it and internalize it and fuse with it. That's why one thing that I have a huge problem with is affirmations, because when you're saying I'm rich, what does it mean? It's good, you feel something, but it's not internalized. It's more like at a thought level. It's more like, oh, I'm rich, but what does it mean? What does your most abundant version look like? How does it feel like? So you take every aspect of your life, you become super clear to the point, to your clothes, to your dress, to where you live, where you shop, how you live your life, where you do your grocery, what kind of car do you drive, what kind of house do you live in, what kind of people you hang out with, every aspect, right? And then you start to emotionalize that, and you start to get closer and closer. And the things that you can start doing now, for instance, like clothes a little bit, or maybe you can get one thing that is very close. You can start to buy a different perfume that is a bit more posh, that reminds you of that. What I teach my clients is that once you are clear on the picture, you start to emotionalize every aspect of it. You don't have to do it all at once. You can take chunks. Like sometimes you can say, now I'm going to visualize this aspect. Now I'm going to visualize this aspect. And you don't even have to sit and close your eyes. You can just think about that. Just what I say to myself is, I'm going to fully jump in that vision without any gap analysis or thinking, is it going to happen, when it's going to happen, what is the probability. I'm just going to jump, like I'm going in my la la land. I'm going in my dream world. So I'm going to just jump, and I'm going to fully live it for until my drive, or for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. You can start with 5 minutes, you can start with 10 minutes. You can even like get in the feeling of, I've just received that money in my bank account. If you jump in that reality for a little bit and you say, I've just received that money, how does it feel? In the beginning, it will feel big. It will feel like, oh, that's a lot of money. But then as you keep doing it, it will feel normal. It's not even a big deal. When you become a match for something is when you don't feel big about that thing. You just feel like, yeah, it's normal. And then when that thing actually manifests, you realize that, oh, I was living like that for a while. So it didn't even like felt like this. It feels like deja vu in a way, right? You can do this, and you can start to like create those images. And the other thing, what I tell my clients to do is try to get that vision as much as you can. Like test driving that car, trying to change the way you dress, trying to change the way you walk, trying to change the way you talk, trying to change the way you sit and have your coffee in the morning, trying to change the mug of your coffee, like little things. But also what you start to do is you start to use the things outside of you and connect them to your vision. So what I do is I've got a playlist, my playlist, which I use, and every song covers one aspect of that life. One song covers the car, one song covers the house, one song cover that level of business, one song covers even like going out with my kids and my husband with that lifestyle. One thing covers every song is a preview of a part of that life, right? When I play my playlist in my drive, I lift the whole thing, because one song comes and I just all of a sudden go in that vision, and I'm doing that, and I'm seeing myself in that house, and I'm living there, and I wake up and all of that. And then by the time the song ends, I already had like 3-4 minutes of fully immersing in that vision. And then the next song comes with the car, and the next so the way I've done it is I've built a neural connection. What I did was, when I heard that song for the first time, it really resonated with me. I loved it. And then I said, what if now this song is playing, I'm going to visualize consciously of living in that house. Every time I put that song and I visualized living a specific thing in that house. And as I kept doing it, my mind picked up the connection, it built the connection, the neurons built the connection, that whenever the song played, it activated me living in that house. So I didn't have to do it after a few times. You do these experiments with dogs when they give dogs the food and they ring the bell. I don't know which scientist it's some psychology, really powerful experiment. They ring the bell and they give the dog foods. They kept doing that. When they ring the bell again, the dogs got hungry automatically, because they associated the bell with food. They were asking for the food. Where's the food? That's what we do. We build the connection. You can build a connection with the water bottle that you have, or maybe the perfume that you use, maybe the makeup that you do, the way you do your makeup, the way you sit down. Everything outside of you can activate that vision of that life, so that you start living it now without really forcing yourself, without really saying, oh, I have to really think, and then you're wondering how it's going to happen, and before you know it, you're in the negative spiral. Not like that, but everything takes you there. Everything activates something. Everything you see around you, everything reminds you of that. Some people I see do tattoos. Some people get their pictures made. One client of mine got somebody on Fiverr and got that guy to make the picture of her that version, and she put it in her room. That reminded her, you can use the outside right now to keep activating, and you build the neural connection. So every time you see something in the outside, it reminds you. You see something else, it reminds you. You wear your perfume, that reminds you. But in the beginning, you have to do it consciously until your mind learns that behavior, and then your mind wouldn't even need any activation, because you'll keep doing that. Now, for those people who will really struggle to visualize, like they can think in images and they're looking, what you can do is you can journal from that place. So when you are journaling, you are actually giving your mind an image. Let's say I'm saying I'm living in a beautiful, posh mansion in this area. You are actually giving your mind the command to think about that, and you're saying that my room is made of gold furniture, or it has got a gold chandelier. Now, and you're explaining what the chandelier is like, and now when you're writing that, your mind is thinking that. So your mind can think even when you're writing. If you're not a fan of writing, you can do inner talk. Oh my God, I manifested money. It was so easy. It was so good. I love it. It was the greatest thing ever. I didn't know it was so easy. It just came. I didn't even have to change anything. It just happened by itself. I used the same strategy when I was doing the same thing for what I was doing, and I didn't even change anything, and the money just showed up. It was so easy. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. And all of a sudden, if you can go on that rant for like 3-4 minutes, right? Literally, you need like 1 minute to do that. But if you can do longer, it's perfect. The other thing, what you can do is you can also go for a walk or put music on when you feel like your hormones are releasing, you're feeling lighter, there's less resistance. And that's when you can start visualizing and feeling that. But it is really important to be clear on what that life looks like. That's why write it out, draw it out. If you don't like writing, draw it out. Draw out that house, draw out that, but be really specific. If you're not a big fan of drawing, like make a collage of it, like add different things, but the more specific you'll be, the faster you'll normalize it. Because if I say to my mind, I was having the call with one of my one-to-one clients, and when we started doing this 100x visualization method, I said to her, what is the mansion? How does it look like? What does your toilet look like? Do you have a bathtub, or do you have a standing shower, or do you have both? And when I started asking her questions, she was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And this is it. This is the detail that you want, because the more detail you have, the more you can actually go there, and the more you go there, the more normal it's going to feel. And the only difference between what you're manifesting right now and what you are not manifesting, it's not normal for you. It's a big deal. It's a big vision, or it's not. That amount of money seems big or large. The moment that feels normal, the moment you feel like, oh, I expect it. And the one thing, when I studied this for the first time, the law of expectation, I used to get really annoyed, because I was like, how can I just expect it? I don't know how to just expect it. And the way you can just expect it is if you keep going there. If you keep going there without any logic or gap analysis or thinking how it's going to happen, if you just jump, you just dive in, and you say, I'm going. Like when you're watching a movie, you start the movie, you don't think, oh, right now they're having a fight, but this doesn't seem logical. How will this? You're just indulging in the movie. That's how you indulge. You just indulge in that guilty pleasure of going there. And once you have done that, you release it. You release it to the quantum, you fully surrender, you let it go. You're not now thinking, what shall I do now? I'm not doing enough. No, just let it go and see the magic. When you do this, when you normalize this, you attract, and you also act in alignment without even realizing, because your subconscious controls how you act 98% of the time. So it will make you do whatever is required. So you don't have to worry about, am I doing enough? Why am I not doing enough? I should be doing more. No, just keep indulging, and your action in attraction will be taken care of when you keep doing this and keep normalizing that. I hope that helps, and I'll see you soon.